Hello everyone and welcome to What Game Next. My name is Ryan and this is my second spoiler for Ancient Alphas, which is set 7 of Alpha Clash. Should be coming out here in about 3 weeks, right around there. So there's been a lot of really cool spoilers, a lot of really cool stuff going on. I'm going to go over a little bit of the stuff going on with the comic Kickstarter. Talk about those cards a little bit, and then we'll get to my spoiler. So, bring up the first card I want to talk about, which is this one. Just that a little bit. Cool. Okay, so Diabolical Scheme. This is one of the comic Kickstarter promos. There's 2 of them that come with the Kickstarter, and then there's an additional one that you can like add on to your Kickstart, and then get that sent to you as part of the campaign. The Kickstarter is for the new comic series, which is called Rising Empires. It is set about 5 years in the future from where the book is, and where basically like the first 5 sets were set. And then what's going to happen is the sets that come after Cosmic Conquest block will be focused on Rising Empires timeline and stuff we see there. I have backed Cobalt Pawn. So this is the link to the Kickstarter for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. So this card here is pretty awesome, I think. I mean, it's an unrivaled, so they need to be at a certain level to get played over some other cards, like War. So this is a black and white 3-cost quick action that has a new keyword on it called Manifest, which hasn't been spoiled yet as to what that does. It has counterattack. If the attacking clash card is defeated this clash, put it into play under your control, and it gains Alpha Faction. If you do, your contender loses health equal to its specific resource cost, and it gets trigger defeat. Return a Diabolical Scheme from your Oblivion to your hand. So what this does is it allows you to if you kill one of your opponent's clash cards as they attack, you get to take it under your control, and then when that card dies, it allows you to return the scheme from your Oblivion back to your hand, which then allows you to do it again. So this is kind of a combo card. It's an unrivaled card that you'll probably be able to play more than once. It does have some interaction with banish and stuff, so people who like to banish cards from their opponent's Oblivions, that's one way to get rid of this after it's happened. But this is a really good card, and it's going to see some play for sure. Second card is this one, Unrivaled Momentum. This is a blue and white basic action for 4. Also has the same Manifest keyword. And then, until end of turn, target clash card gets super speed and trigger victory. Ready all other non-token clash cards you control. Non-token clash cards you control get recovered 2 until the end of the turn. This only triggers once per turn. So this card is kind of interesting. It doesn't necessarily set you up to win the game if you weren't already winning the game, but what it does is it makes it so that you don't lose on the crackback. So you give one of your guys super speed, you use it to kill one of your opponent's guys. Assuming you kill it, all your stuff readies, then you can attack with them all, gain a whole bunch of life back. Now you're not in a position to just die on the crackback with all your guys engaged. This card is pretty cool. It is unrivaled. This one doesn't have recursion, so you basically get to play it once. Although there are cards that return actions from the discard, or play them from the discard. So potentially you could play it more than once. Cobalt says mean streak tech. I could definitely see it as mean streak tech, although he doesn't really need things that give super speed. But he does tend to need extra life, so that could be a thing. But all in all, this card's cool, and it comes with the Kickstarter. Even if you, I think you have to back at a level where you get something physical in order to get the cards. Um, it says on the Kickstarter page what levels get the cards. But this art that's on here is unique to the Kickstarter. Same with Diabolical Scheme. It'll be reprinted in a later set with different art. However, if you back the Kickstarter, you will get to play with these cards before they come out in the set that they're originally designed to come out in. So that's a cool bonus. Cobalt says the $99 level, so that's the base level where you get the promo cards. And these will be pretty rare. There's, you know, if you look at the Kickstarter, it tells you how many people are backing, and so that's going to be roughly how many of these promos are out. They'll probably print a few more above that number, but these are going to be pretty rare, so definitely something to keep in mind. And then the last card, which is an add-on, so you could pay to add this on to your Kickstarter. Excuse me. And that is Bison Form. This one is a rivaled card, which means you could play up to 4 of them in your deck. So if you want a playset of these, they're $10 each, so it's $40 to get a playset of Bison Forms with this art. This art is also the cover art for one of the alternate art versions of one of the comics. So super cool to just see like the cover art like taking up this whole card. It's really awesome looking. So what this one does, attaches to a Warcry card you control. So it can attach to a Contender, or it can attach to a Clash card, as long as it's a Warcry card. The attached card gets Undisputed and trigger attack. Ready target Clash card you don't control. It must obstruct this Clash if able. This card gets +0/+4 until the end of the Clash. So, this is a pretty strong card. It allows you to safely remove one of your opponent's cards without a huge risk of losing yours. In addition, if you throw this on the Warcry Contender, it pretty much lets you trigger his trigger attack exhaust ability without much fear of getting hurt when doing it, especially when you're low life. That's one of the downsides that he has, is that he can't really activate his ability to give something damage through defense, just because he could take so much damage in return. This kind of softens that a bit. Even if they have a 5/5 and they block you with it, like, you're going to take 1 damage from that, and that's well worth one of your guys having a ability to do a lot of damage. And you can have multiples of these out, so you could put one of these on your Contender, you could put one of these on a Clash card, attack with the Contender, allow the Clash card to deal defense damage, and then it attacks with the +4 defense, and that's just a whole lot of damage. So I think this card is awesome. It's it'll be interesting to see when it comes out in the actual set, but I think this art is super cool, and it's going to be something people are going to want. Alright, so spoiler time. My spoiler is a card for one of the new contenders in the set. I mean, I assume you can play it in other contenders and stuff, but let me pull her up. So, my card is a card that is for so large. Oh. There we go. Why is this card so large? There. Okay. So Gearwin is one of the new contenders in set 7. She is from the same place as Iron Piston, which is Cogheim. Kind of a steampunky place. She has a couple really cool things about her. She's a savior. She's a defense contender. Once per turn, when you diminish one or more cards, you may have your contender lose a health. If you do, you can put one of the cards that you diminished into your hand. So every time you diminish, you can decide when those cards are diminished, do I want one of those in my hand? If you do, you could pay a life, put it in your hand once per turn. So you could do that on your turn, you could do it on the opponent's turn, and it can really give you a lot of card advantage at the expense of a little bit of life. So one of the things that you're probably going to be looking for is ways to regain your health, because at 20 you can't really draw that many cards without being in the danger zone. And at 12 she gains counterattack, engage, diminish up to 3 cards. This gets +0/+X until the end of the clash, where X is the number of cards diminished this way. If you discover one of those cards, it lasts until the end of the turn instead. This counts as activating a trap. So somebody attacks you, you engage her, diminish up to 3 cards. You can choose to put one of them in your hand to lose a life, and then you gain a bunch of defense. And if one of those cards had discover and you activated that, then you also get that until the end of turn, so it makes it harder for them to continue to follow up and attack you. So all in all, she's a pretty defensive contender. I think she's super cool, and I can't wait to see what people do with her. One of the ways that you might gain some life, see if this works, okay, is with her Clash buff, which is Engineered Execution. The 1-cost Clash buff for Saviors says target card gets +1/+1 and restore 1 until end of turn, which means anytime that contender, or anytime that card deals Clash damage, you'll gain 1 health. So if they're attacking you, you could hit that on your contender, and now you can gain a life even if you diminished and took one of those cards. It offsets it, so that's helpful. And then if you resolved a non-ambush trap this turn, draw 2 cards, and that card gets +2/+2 instead. Well, her secondary ability, her 12 ability, counts as a trap, and it's not an ambush trap. So if you activate her defensive ability at 12 or under, and then Clash buff, now she gets +2/+2, and you draw 2 cards, which is really, really strong. Yeah, she's has a lot of defense, Cobalt. So she's definitely going to be something people are going to be looking out for. So now my spoiler card. All right. My spoiler card is Gearwin, Surveying the Arsenal. It is a 5-cost 4/5 Observant Rogue that says whenever you discover, this card gets +2/+2 until the start of your next turn. That's not once per turn. It's every time you discover, it gets +2/+2 until the start of your next turn. So if you, for instance, use her defensive ability and you diminish 3 cards, if all 3 of those have discover, she gets +6/+6 until the start of your next turn. That is monstrously big on a card like this. Also, it's only 2 red pips. You could play this in Iron Piston too, or something else that wants to diminish. Yeah. And the second ability, or really the third ability because of Observant, is Trigger Attack. If this has a tempered weapon attached, target player diminishes 3 cards. So if you have a tempered weapon attached to this and you attack with it, you could self-diminish if you want, which then could trigger Discover and give a bunch of +2s, which then would allow you to just have a giant body. And then if they tried to attack on your turn, you could give it even more +2s from the defensive ability. So this is an epic, and it's definitely epic. I think this card is awesome. I'm really excited about Gearwin and what she has going on. Yeah, I can't wait to have the rest of the set out there for people to start brewing. So hopefully that will happen on Deck Planet at least a week or so before the set releases. I don't know for sure where we're at on that, but I think it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, Cobalt says the art must be a comic for after they go into the vault. Yeah, she's definitely looking at some maps. There's like a portal there on the drawing, and it's like some crystals or something. But yeah, she's definitely planning something. So again, this art does come from one of the comics. We know that for sure because all of the art in set 7 comes from comics, um, which is, you know, the new direction they're going, and I think it's awesome. So there's a couple more, I think a couple more comics left in the Cosmic Conquest set. You can subscribe to those on teamcovenant.com. Every comic that you get comes with a playset of 4 alternate art promos that, again, you can play as soon as you get them, even though that they're for a future set. I believe that they just charged today for set 7 for shipping through the subscription. I believe you can still go on and order boxes, at least for a little while longer. Again, on teamcovenant.com. Yeah, I think that's all I got for tonight. So I hope everybody likes the spoiler card. I think it's super cool. I think a lot of the Gear 1 stuff is super cool, and can't wait to be cracking open some boxes of Ancient Alphas. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out for a few minutes with me tonight, and we'll see you next time.